Coach, if you could start us off with a quick statement, we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, we just got done with our first practice of the week. We didn't practice yesterday. We got we didn't get back from Oxford until I guess close to 5 a.m. And we got up early and drove back here to NOLA and got here at I guess close to 5 p.m. I think I guess about 3 p.m. on Sunday. So we had a little bit of a different day yesterday than we normally did. I wanted the guys to get a little bit of rest and sleep and get off their feet a little bit. So we're going to be going on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and practicing, and obviously playing the game on Saturday. So a little bit different week for us. But we're glad to be back home.
Questions for Coach Fritz.
Hey, Coach, what was it like just to be back in Yeoman Stadium and just to even see it again?
It was good. It's been last week was a long week, and then there's probably a couple mistakes I made with the game. I brought everybody. I wanted to bring everybody. And unfortunately, we had a real small locker room. And then we had an extra 2 hours, that we were over there and when any place to really go because it was really coming down hard during that time period. So, we didn't play very well on Saturday. And I think the guys were looking forward to the game. And I probably didn't time that out as well as I needed to. You never know when you have a situation like that occur, what's the best thing to do. One thing I'm going to do a better job of is checking locker room size before we go and understand you can't bring 115 guys to an away game when you in most places, most venues. The guys are very excited about being back in town. I know I am. 22 days we were gone, and it's good to be back in New Orleans. Looks like the city's done a great job of picking everything up and getting back to normal.
Does it feel normal yet?
No, it won't. It was kind of a strange first practice when we came out here today. It really was. The guys were very excited about lifting yesterday because we were going to a kind of a health club, and they didn't really have barbells and racks and things like that. So that's where we had to go to for the last week. So it's a little bit different lifting, and they're kind of excited about getting in the weight room where we could get back to our regular routine.
Willie, will both of your quarterbacks be available this week?
Yes.
Did they sustain any injuries in the Ole Miss game?
No, Justin got banged up the week before, Ibieta, and but he could have played, and we got him in there a little bit. And there towards the end of the game, and so we did play, So yeah, both of them will be available. We pulled Michael out. We were a little concerned about, score the game at that point in time, and didn't want him to take any more hits.
Willie, Dorian Williams became the latest player in college football ejected because of a targeting call that was sort of close. I know you don't have control over the rule, but what are your thoughts on that rule? And do you feel like there should maybe be some delineation between hits that get you ejected and hits that just get a penalty?
I think so. I think it's a good rule. We got to have something, I agree with the powers that be that, they have some guidelines for what is a proper hit. And, I've been very fortunate that, my guys have stayed safe over 29 years as a head coach and, 13 years as an assistant coach. So we really teach those guys. But, the thing that's tough, in my opinion, that I see is that a lot of times the offensive player lowering his head and lowering his target at the last moment because these are split-second decisions. And I think sometimes we don't take that into consideration with it. I'll be honest with you. I looked at it over there on the sideline. I thought they were ruling whether the guy had gone out of bounds or
it is what they
not that it was a targeting. And, I looked at it. By the letter of the law, it was a targeting. I didn't get a chance. We tried to look at the one with Jaquan, and hard for us to see from our game film. I have not watched the TV copy. I'm not going to subject myself to that quite yet, but I don't know if that was I guess it wasn't. I guess it was more hitting him in the shoulder is what I've heard. So, there's split-second decisions that occur, and we talk all the time about strike zone. We talk about armpits and below, not neck and below, armpits and below, just to make sure. And, you got to practice it all the time. But, bang, bang, it happens. And especially when I think the runner lowers his target at the last moment. I think that's difficult for a defensive guy or a tackler in special teams to adjust to it.
How tough is it to lose a guy like Dorian Williams?
He's a great player for us. It's unfortunate. We'd have loved to have him in there and had a little bit of momentum going at that point in time. But obviously, anytime you lose a real good player, that hurts you.
Obviously, it was a tough night for the defense, but Macon Clark made some plays in that game. How you've talked about how good he's looked in practice early in the year. You feel like he's headed for a pretty big year for you?
Yeah, he's practicing, much harder. He's more consistent on a daily basis with his practice habits. And he played really well in the first half. He had an excellent first half. Sometimes, you look at it and our defense didn't play very well, and give credit to Ole Miss. That's a great offense without question. And we tackled very poorly. It's I think they were top 5 in the country last year in total offense, and I believe we're number 1 now. And there's a lot of good players. They do a great job getting the ball to their studs in space and make you miss. We really tackled poorly, and some of that was us and some of that was them. And they got a great quarterback, as an excellent quarterback, good offensive line. So it was definitely a tough night for the defense. And, we didn't play real well, but, also Ole Miss got a tremendous offense.
You've always been real good at moving on, win or loss, from games. If you had to say anything to your guys, because obviously as good as Ole Miss's offense was, nobody saw this coming going into the game.
No, we talked about it after the ball game. We talked about it on Monday. Hey, when we get finished here, after this game Saturday night, we're going to be a third. The season's going to be a third completed. Some of these guys don't realize that. It happens fast. It happens quick. We need in-season heroes. Some guys are really good January through August. They light it up on social media. They lift the weights. They get personal trainers. They do all sorts of stuff. This is when we need the tough guy stuff, and it's going to be done before you know it. It just happens fast. And it's 3 games in the book. There'll be 4 games in the book after Saturday night. So this is when we need it.
Hey, Willie, just sort of based on what this team has gone through with the evacuations and the opponents that you all have played, though, what can you learn from all that and from that experience the past month, I guess?
Well, I'm really proud of our players. I'm proud of our coaches. I'm proud of our support staff. They've done a tremendous job. I've had very few issues over there. I'd put our 18 to 22-year-olds up against anybody. There's some teams, I think if they would have been over there for 22 days, they might have sent 22 guys home. I don't know. But, there's a lot of things that can occur. And right now we're still doing it. Our freshmen are down at a hotel here on Canal Street until they can get into the residence halls on Friday. So it's still not back to normal, but we're creeping in that direction. So just very proud of the support staff, the coaches, when I say the support staff, the trainers, they had to go above and beyond the call of duty. The managers, if you'd have seen our setup over there, it was a little bit different. We had a whole area that was kind of locker room, and we had different meeting rooms, people walking through all the time. And the other part too was it wasn't just us over there. We had every sports team over there, all the coaches and and the admin and all the other student athletes. So that was totally different. We had bed check every night. We were up early because we were having to take classes, even though we were someplace different. So it was a unique experience. I can go ahead and put this will be a chapter in the book when I retire here in about 15 years.
So, Coach, do you think the at the end of 3 weeks that the travel takes its toll on you at all, or?
I don't know. I just I was disappointed. Not there wasn't anything we could do about it, but just we got to the game and all of a sudden it's delayed for 2 hours. I was like, God Almighty, one more thing, And again, I don't want that to act like that's the reason why we got our butts kicked. Ole Miss played really, really well, but it was one more thing that we had to deal with, and that's just kind of how it's been. Hopefully after this week we'll have a return to normalcy and get it going. But I know we're all excited to be back in New Orleans.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, we'll bring in Cam Carroll next. Questions for Cam?
Hey, Cam, how good did it feel just to be back in Yeoman Stadium?
I can't even explain the feeling. Like it's overjoyful. Like it's like a dream come true because we've been in Birmingham, Alabama for about a month. So just being able to be back home, it's like a great feeling. It's hard to describe.
What do y'all kind of learn from these past 3 weeks? I mean, what have y'all got from that, and how can you build on it?
From these past 3 weeks, I can honestly say we're a very resilient group. I don't know, too many teams that would have been able to do what we did and, still be able to compete at a high level. It's just, a great opportunity to learn from. And, I'm thankful for everything that we got, when we were in Birmingham. I'm thankful for the people there because they were a tremendous help to us.
Cam, do you feel like the whole 3 week experience away kind of may have caught up, and then the rain delay, everything else might have caught up to you guys against Ole Miss?
I'll probably say so, but at the end of the day, we still have to come out and play our best brand of football, and I don't feel like we did that as a team. I do feel like being there for 3 weeks, it might have taken a slight impact on our mental health, but overall, I honestly feel like we didn't play our best brand of football, and that's really just what it came down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, how tough was it? The league, it kept getting bigger and bigger every time the offense went back on the field. Just was it tough mentally to just deal with all that as the game went on?
I mean, it gets frustrating, but, at the end of the day, we have to lift up each other. We have to support each other because we're out there on the field. Nobody necessarily knows what we're going through while we're out there. So if we don't hold each other accountable and lift each other up, then, it's just going to make things harder, honestly. But I feel like we did a great job of, being there, for each other and supporting each other.
Cam, maybe not putting your best foot forward on national TV. How disappointing was that?
It stung a little bit, but, like Coach Fritz says, well, like he tells us all the time, we have a 24-hour gloat and pout rule. It was very disappointing, the result of the game, but, like I said, Tulane didn't play our best brand of football. I still feel like we have yet to play our best brand of football, but I definitely feel like it's definitely coming.
Anything else for Cam?
Hey, Cam, what's something that maybe you all took for granted? Well, I don't think you take it for granted, but something that when you came back, you realized how much you missed it?
That's a great question. I'll probably say, just like being away from home, honestly. Like I know, being somewhere for too long, might get stressful, might get, worrisome on your mind. But I definitely feel like since being back here in New Orleans, it's like I'm a freshman all over again. It's like I'm just excited to be here. I'm even more excited to be back. I'm happy that, the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana is, starting to rebuild and get back to normal.
What was it kind of like when you got back and just kind of saw the city? I mean, did you see some stuff and you realize how bad the city got hit?
Once I finally did get back, I parked in the parking garage. So like, I was up on, I want to say like the fourth floor, and I saw like a lot of damage to the dorms that, I didn't see while I was gone, like a lot of damage to like the roofs. Driving around the city, I saw like, it's still like a lot of like trees that were cut down, limbs and stuff that are like piles of it just down the street. And it's just crazy to see.
Cam, how crowded was that locker room in Oxford? Because Coach Fritz mentioned he brought everybody, and then you had the 2 hour delay. He wasn't kind of anticipating that, having 115 players in that space for that long.
I'd say it felt like a phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
It was compact, but we made the best out of what we had. So,
anything else for Cam?
I'm impressed you know what a phone booth is, man.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
All right, guys. All right, Macon. All right, guys, we'll bring in Macon Clark next. Questions for Macon Clark?
How y'all doing?
Good, good. Hey, Macon, how does it feel just to be back in New Orleans and back in Yeoman Stadium?
I mean, it felt good to be home. I got to see my family. I got to check on my house. I mean, it just felt great to be back home.
Was everything good, with your house and all that? Or
our roof was messed up a little bit, but the inside was pretty good. We just had to work on the roof. That's really it. But everything was good.
Macon, how hard was it to be away for more than 3 weeks? At the end, did it take a little bit of a toll on you guys, you think?
I mean, I think it played a little bit because we were just wondering what's going on at home, how the house is looking, how our family was. So I think it played a little part in it, but we just had to hang in there and stick together.
Hey, Macon, when you got home, when y'all got back to New Orleans, were things worse than you realized, or was it about like what you had imagined, or what was it like when you just got a chance to ride around the city and on campus and all that stuff?
I mean, it was pretty well like what I expected because I'm from down here, so I experienced Hurricane Katrina, and that was pretty bad. So I thought the city would be a little bit worse, but it was kind of good from what Hurricane Katrina was, because Hurricane Katrina was pretty bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Anything else for Macon?
Macon, just how does the defense flush their performance against Ole Miss and get back ready for the next game? Because obviously things didn't go the way you guys wanted to.
I mean, we're just gonna leave that game behind us. We're just gonna focus on the upcoming week. We just got to flush that game away and just leave that anger into the next game.
You actually, Coach Fritz said, he said you played very well in the first half. You've been good since the beginning of preseason drills, spring drills. What has clicked for you this year, and how comfortable do you feel on the field?
I mean, I feel pretty comfortable as a unit. I feel like we got better over the weeks. I mean, as a defense, we didn't play our best ball yet, but it'll beat us pretty soon this week. As a defense, we'll play better.
Mm-hmm.
Anything Macon Clark?
Yeah. How excited were you about just having a normal weight room again. Coach was talking about how y'all got some, you got regular barbells and all that stuff now that you're back at home. How different was that?
I mean, we're more comfortable now. We got our own weight room. We're at home now. We feel good. We get to get way more work in, and it's our weight room. So you know what I mean. We just feel good.
You're probably the last team in the country that's going to play a home game this year. How much are you guys looking forward to actually being in your own stadium for a game?
Oh, we're looking forward to it. We've been waiting for so long to play in our home stadium with the fans. I think our atmosphere is going to be pretty good, and all the fellas are going to be excited and pumped.
Anything else for Macon? All right. Thank you, Macon.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, guys, we'll bring in Michael Pratt next. Questions for Michael?
Michael, I started off. Just how good did it feel to be back home and back in Yeoman Stadium?
It's really nice to be back. Finally be able to get back into, our type of routine and, the things that, how they've been for the past, since last spring, getting back into it and, seeing that everything here isn't, as bad as we necessarily expected.
Did that surprise you a little bit, Michael, that it wasn't as bad as you thought it might be?
A little bit. I mean, I'm from South Florida. I've been through a bunch of hurricanes. And, I thought the flooding was going to be one thing that was going to be really bad. I don't think that played a huge factor. There's just a lot of shrub and, trees and stuff on the ground and, a couple, things floating around. But, structural damage and whatnot, I don't think was too bad around here at least.
Speaking of structural damage, how are you feeling? I know you got hit pretty good in that game. How are you feeling right now, Michael?
Feeling good. Ready to go this week.
It was 40-21. You guys had scored 3 touchdowns. As an offense, you probably had to feel pretty good about what you could do in the second half. What do you feel like went wrong there in the third quarter for you guys?
I think we just didn't do our best job of, finishing all 4 quarters. I think we just kind of got lackadaisical in a lot of ways. We didn't dominate our run game. I got to be able to step up and make throws, put a lot of that on myself. But, we just didn't play our best brand of football. And, obviously that's what we put on film and, we just got to bounce back from it and come back this week.
Like, what did you all learn about yourselves during this 3-week period? Not just the evacuation, but, the tough opponents you all played. And, what did this team sort of learn?
I think since week 1, I think we set the standard pretty high and, showed what we're really capable on both sides of the ball. I think we did, pretty well that first week and, week 2 again. So like I said, just, setting the standard and, knowing what we're capable of. And, we just got to be able to stay together as a unit. I think that's one thing that, being away from home and being in a hotel together really was unified us in a lot of ways. A lot of guys stepped up, really good leadership. But, we just got to bounce back and, leave this game behind us and move forward.
Michael, the last image of you on TV after you were taken out of the game was you were going along the bench, just slapping hands with players. What were you saying to guys at that point?
Really, the game was at a point where, had taken a pretty bad turn for us and, it wasn't looking very promising, but, I was just trying to keep rallying the guys and, keep them locked in, keep their heads up. We still had a lot of football to play left. And, those are the situations that, you just got to, be able to rally the troops and, be a leader and, get guys to try to execute and, do what we're supposed to do on both sides of the ball.
And how much are you looking forward to playing in Yeoman Stadium? You guys are going to be the last team in the country to play their first home game. Just what do you think that's going to feel like?
I'm really excited. Even since I've been here, I haven't even been able to play a football game here with full set of people in the stands and whatnot. So just, being able to play here on our home turf with our people in the stands is really exciting, really good feeling, especially coming back from Birmingham and, being here, getting to practice here. And it's something that, all the guys are really looking forward to.
Anything else for Michael? All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Tom, what about credential pickup, buddy?
Anytime this week, Ed. I got them all.
Okay, Tom. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.